guys, it is Make, Bake, and Create here, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make a zebra cake. So, let's get started. What you will need is 1 cup of water. Well, this is what my box mix says, so any box mix. So mine calls for 1 cup of water, 1/3 cup of vegetable oil, and it has this in here, and then 3 eggs. And then, so then when you split the batter in half, you're gonna need the chocolate syrup. So, let's do it, and so let's put it all together. Oh yeah, and you will need a big mixing bowl. I'm just getting one out. A big mixing bowl, and something to mix with. So, oh yeah, and birds cup thing, I'll show you why later. But, and a baking pan. Sorry, I'm forgetting all this stuff. But something to stir with. Something to stir with. So let's actually start. So, I just preheated the oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, and I'm going to start off by putting my yellow cake mix in there, or you can use white cake mix, if either one is fine. And I'm just going to pour it on. That flew out. Sorry, you can't really see this. Okay. So I'm pouring it all in here. Pouring that all in. And so now I'm going to add, I'm just going to kind of flatten it out, mix it around a little bit. And then I'm going to add my 1 cup of water into the mixture and just stir it around a little bit, scrape the sides, mix it around. It should be a little dry because you haven't added your oil or your eggs yet, but just mix it around. And then mix it around. And now, since I want to keep it not super yellow, I'm taking 3 egg whites, cracking it. A little more. Okay. And you want to just jiggle around the yolk a little bit. Make sure the white gets into the, a little bit of the yolk fell, but that's okay. Take another egg. Do the same thing, jiggle around the yolk. Make sure all the white gets out of there. You can even hold the yolk a little bit. So now all of your yellow batter is mixed. I just took out my cake pan, and to make sure that it's super clean, I'm just kind of wiping it down, making sure it's all clean. And then I am going to spray it down with some cooking spray. Just make sure you get the edges and spray it good. And then I like to just take the dry part of my paper towel a little bit and just kind of make sure it's all in there and all greased. And don't wipe it up, just spread it. You may need to add a little more if you do end up wiping it. So I'm just doing that. Just making sure it's all in there. And now I have my sheet all greased. So now I'm taking another bowl and taking about half of my batter. Sorry, you can't really see, but about half of my batter and just pouring it into this bowl. And yeah, pouring it into there. And then make sure all this gets into there, all the drip. Just put it there, take some drip there. And it's always good to have paper towels near you so you can wipe your hands when you need it. And what I'm going to do with this half my batter, so about that much, I'm going to add a little bit of chocolate syrup. Not a ton, but a little. And it's going to make it chocolate batter. So I added about that much. You can always add more you can't take out. I always keep that in mind. So while I'm doing this, or while I'm putting anything more or less in to baking anything, and I definitely need a little more. It doesn't even look like anything changed. So I'm going to just add a little bit more. And it all depends on how much you put in your batter, but yeah. So I'm just gonna mix that around until I have a good chocolatey batter, and I'll come back when I have my finished chocolate batter. I finished mixing all of my chocolate batter, so it looks all chocolatey and smells really good. So now what I'm gonna do with my greased cooking sheet pan, I'm going to start off with the vanilla batter, or actually I'm going to start chocolate, and take like a half scoop from the 1/3 cup and just plop it on into the middle instead of doing it how you normally would, just pouring it all. So now I have that. And now I'm just taking the same amount with the vanilla and just putting it right in the middle, and it should spread out the chocolate. And so just keep doing that. It's a really big bowl. And just putting it right in the middle of the chocolate. Yep, so I scraped that all out. So now I'm just gonna kind of level it, spread it out a little. It'll kind of look like one of those marble cakes, I think. So, yeah. So you just want to make sure it's all level on each side, all in the corners. The one annoying thing is if it's well greased, it'll slide off with the batter a little bit. So you got to be careful about that. But just want to fill this corner a little more, and whenever your batter is ready to go in the oven, just pop it in the oven for 34 to 38 minutes. So I'm going to start off with 34. A little tip, always start off with the lowest one or go in the middle. So like say it's 8 to 10, I would do 9. But since it's a cake, I'm going to start off just with the lowest time, which is 34. And yeah, so let's put it in the oven. So now since it's in the oven and I have half an hour till it comes out, I'm just going to clean my bowls, and always it's good to keep this just in case you need for time or if you need to like triple check the instructions. But so yeah, and then I'm going to get my frosting ready, and I will be back when I'm done washing my bowls. See you then. Drying bowls and utensils. Bowls and utensils. Drying bowls and utensils. Yeah. Woo. So I actually just put some frosting into a bag and tied it off with a little, it's actually a headband, but I tied it off, and I'm going to make sure it doesn't go into the tip here. And I'm actually going to refrigerate that so it's nice and cold. So for when my cake is out, I took out a little cooling rack so it can cool for a long time, because it's got to cool for a while or else your frosting will melt and get gross and rip the cake. So you have to let it cool for a while and just chill out. Wait. It'll turn out the best. So if you have time, well, not if you have time, wait. Just wait for it to cool and make sure it's cooked all the way through by poking a toothpick into the middle. And if it comes out clean, you know it's good. And yeah. So I will see you when it is all cooled and ready to frost. So now that the cake is cooled, I'm just spreading it out. I put a lot over in one area and some of it crumbled a little bit, so I'm patching that up and spreading it out. Yes, I'm using my fingers, but it's okay, I have clean fingers, and you should too when you're baking. And just spread it all around, and if you have any mistakes, just patch them up with frosting. And make sure it's cooled all the way, because if it's not, then it will fall apart. I just finished frosting my cake. It looks really good and I'm so excited to eat it. See you next time.